to replug the power cord, connect back into your ancestry, and connect it back into your ancestry, right? You connect back into your culture. And connecting back to your culture, you connect back into nature. And to connecting back into nature, right, you're connecting back into the sun. And connecting back into the sun, you're connecting back to what they said was the armor, the force behind the sun. So in essence, once you go inside, right, you connect back to the thing that you're calling the source. Never be found outside you. Always inside you.
Is there a place or a thing called heaven?
Heaven is originally an African expression. Called it a mental, right? In actuality, they was talking about a mental state of mind. They wasn't even talking about a place where you could go. They was preparing the nagu, or the nigga. They was preparing them, right, to get into the right state of mind. You know what I'm saying? To get in this blissful place. They call it with the afterlife, right? In essence, nothing really dies. You know what I'm saying? So the pharaohs are still here, or the nagu, we call them the nagu, right? Or the niggas, and I get into that, right? It's no such thing. We wasn't saying it was a place where you go at. The truth be told, nobody's went to heaven and came back. They even prove it. It's a cultural expression first expressed by the Africans. And you have to study the material to know what they was talking about. But by the time you get to the pearly gates and the Christianity and beat over the head with the Bible and the slavery and all that, then you think you're dying. They say if you want everlasting life, right? They say you first have to die and go to heaven. Now how much sense do that make? I want everlasting life, I first gotta die and then I go to heaven? How is that making any type of sense? But how is that? We think we're going to die and then live forever.
Right.
When nothing in nature says that. Nature says everything is recycled. Meaning I am just the return of the ancestors that was presupposed to be dead.
It's kind of heavy what you're saying, because I mean, not only do people, expect to go to heaven when they die, it's like black people, it's like sometimes we almost feel even better if we suffer a little bit before we go to heaven.
Oh, that's that, because that's just a Bible teaching. Remember, I mean, you gotta read the Destruction of Black Civilization, man. You really gotta study that chapter. I think it's page, I forgot what page it's on. I think it's 64. No, I forget what page it's on. But look in the chapter, it's called Conquest of the African Bible Religion. You really gotta read that. You know what I'm saying? That's the essence of the whole thing. To think that you need to suffer, right, before you go, it's crazy. They put that in there like that because they knew you was going to suffer when they enslaved you. They knew it was going to be pain and suffering for you. They already knew that. You know what heaven is? Heaven is knowing that your baby's is going to be all right. That's heaven. You know what I'm saying? To know that when I close my eyes, right, that my children are going to be all right. That's heaven. That's a state of mind that we all should try to reach. You know, in actuality, right? Heaven means different things to different cultures, right? And at this particular time, heaven will be the black man, here I go again, being in control of his natural resources. That will be heaven for us. For sure.
Was there a man called Jesus that was born of a Virgin Mary?
Once again, Jesus is a concept, right? You got Dr. Ben, right? And you got John Henry Clark, considered Dr. Clark to be one of the greatest teachers of our time. And if he says there is no Jesus Christ, right, then you rest assured you ain't gonna find a nigga. Right? But Dr. Ben says there is no Jesus Christ, right? He says there is no God, right? You can rest assured you will never find him in your lifetime. Jesus Christ is a Greek word. It's a cultural expression used by Europeans to conquer and to destroy and to steal African natural resources. It's their figurehead in their religion. You only find Jesus Christ in your four Gospels. You can make up stories. What they were stealing was an African concept, right? Let me show you a Christ. I can show you a Christ child. I can show you. They say one of Jesus' names was what? Emmanuel. What does Emmanuel mean? It means God with us. Let me see. I'm going to show you a God with us. And when it comes to the many faces of God, this book is 1,000 Faces of God. Right? You can see that on that because I don't have time on what. See it real clear? Take it slow. 1,000 Faces of God. And by the way, as you look at this book, 1,000 Faces of God, there's only one face on here that looks like yours. That'd be right there. Right? So my question always was, then what was these people studying? What was these Africans studying? Okay? So we're going to come here, right? I'm going to show you where they stole Jesus Christ from. Let me show you where they stole Emmanuel from. Come right here. So I can get right to it. You know they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. I got to find that picture. No, it's not there.
So you're saying that Jesus is a concept,
It's a concept, and I'm going to show you where the concept came from.
but what about the other half of that question about the Virgin Mary?
It's also another concept. And the whole story about Jesus Christ being died, being resurrected, is really a concept coming out of nature. Because you have winter, summer, spring, and fall. They're really the four stages in Jesus Christ's life. You know what I'm saying? When he was born in the springtime, you know what I'm saying, right? And then you get the summertime when he was at the height of his teachings, you know what I'm saying? And then you get when they snatched him up, and at nighttime when they was taking him to the Roman court, which was ridiculous because Roman court had like one of the best court systems, right? When they was preparing him to kill him, right? When they hung him on that cross, right? And then you got the fall, right? And then one time when they killed him, right? And then after the winter comes after what? Springtime. Reborn again. You see that in life and in nature for trillions of years. You see that concept being whole. So it was a way of them trying to. They was really giving you signs of nature, but they didn't understand it because it was an African concept. And if I can find it, I'm trying to find the original God with us. You might have to pause that. Hold on, let me see. Oh, here you go. Here you go. God amongst us. And for the black man, black woman, this is one of the original gods amongst us. That's Tutankhamun. On Tutankhamun's burial tomb, right? We had some markings, hieroglyphics. And what it said, Kres Messa. The word Christ, right, comes from the Greek word Christos, right, which comes from an African word, Kares. It means Christ. It means anointed. Understand that the Greeks did not have a ceremony for Christing people. The Africans had that ceremony for Karesing people, Christing people. But Kares Messa, Messa is also an African word. So right here is a Kares Messa, right? This right here. Dr. John Henry Clark is a Kares Messa. Martin Luther King was a Kares Messa. Malcolm X was a Kares Messa. All these people died for their people. They fought for the upliftment